Is Call of Duty in trouble? And when I ask that question, I genuinely mean it. In my past couple of videos, we've explored some different topics like Call of Duty 2021 being cancelled and some of the good improvements that have been made in Warzone. But that doesn't look at the bigger picture of, is Call of Duty in trouble? I want to look at the franchise in general and the effects that the new studio changes might have on the game, as well as the effect that Warzone is having on Call of Duty. And that's exactly what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with the talk about Warzone and the influences it has on other Call of Duty game modes. Look at Call of Duty before Warzone was released. Multiplayer was by far the biggest and most popular experience that was in any Call of Duty until March of last year, meaning that the multiplayer saw the most attention from development and it had the most implementations to it. We saw tons of new guns added, new maps. Every year there is a great new experience for the most part, minus a few games. Advanced Warfare, I'm looking at you. But most of the experiences multiplayer-wise have been pretty solid ever since COD 4. And now look at Warzone. Warzone has had 100 million new players. Of course, lots of those are going to be Smurf accounts and hackers making secondary accounts, but statistically there has been 100 million unique players that have played Warzone. And to put that into perspective, the top selling video games of all time, number 3 is Tetris, and it has 100 million units sold. Now, if you look at the top Call of Duty game ever sold, we see Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, which has sold 30 million unique copies. That means that Warzone almost has 4 times the amount of people that have played it than the top Call of Duty ever sold. And if you look at this as a business perspective, if you had every single player that has played Warzone buy a $20 bundle, you would have made twice the amount just on those bundles alone than the top selling Call of Duty game ever, as long as it's just the base game version. Of course, there are bigger and better versions of Modern Warfare, like the deluxe version, and of course you're going to have people on the cosmetic side buy more than just 1 or 2 cosmetic packs. Now let's do a thought experiment. Let's just say for some inhumane reason you are the only person that gets paid from Activision and all the revenue goes to you. You have 2 options. A, put most of your time and effort into Warzone, where you will make double the amount of money than you would making a Call of Duty game every year, or do you B, make that Call of Duty game every year? If you want to make the most money logically, you're going to spend more money on the Warzone front, developing it and making it a better game overall, which is all fine and dandy, but that leaves multiplayer and campaign and zombies in the dust. And yes, from a business perspective, if you look at Activision and how it's actually run, you have different development teams building Warzone and the new Call of Duty games every year. But even then, you are going to put more money into the development of things that make you more money in the end, making it a better investment. And unfortunately, multiplayer and zombies and campaign aren't what make the majority of the money anymore. The majority of the gross income that Activision makes is from Warzone and those cosmetic bundles now. And if you're still confused and are asking, what does this have to do with, is Call of Duty in trouble? Well, look at everything we just analyzed. That means that the multiplayer experience is going to get less effort put into it and less money put into it. And I don't mean effort from the developers. The developers that work on these games, the specific artists that work day and night to make a product that we can enjoy, they put in so much effort, but the money is not there backing it up like it used to be, because there's those different routes of income now. And that worries me, because what does that mean for the future of Call of Duty? Let's take into account Cold War. The campaign was okay, zombies also mediocre, and the multiplayer is also a mediocre experience. But where does the majority of the Cold War influence go? Well, Warzone. Look at how many more people like the Cold War stuff in Warzone than the actual Cold War weapons itself. I guarantee there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players who have played Cold War, hated it, but prefer the Cold War weapons over the Modern Warfare weapons within Warzone. So all the effort that went into Cold War is being paid off in Warzone rather than the host game itself. Let's look at this for next year. Call of Duty World War II Vanguard is the leaked game. We've talked about this previously. So let's say Call of Duty World War II Vanguard launches October, November. During the initial honeymoon period with the game, people are going to be playing it and grinding it to get those mastery camos, level up, and use all the new weapons. And then once they have those mastery camos, they're going to transfer them to Warzone, assuming Warzone does the same thing with a World War II Vanguard integration with the mastery camos. Look at what happened with Cold War, and I'm completely guilty of this too. When it first came out, I grinded DM Ultra and Dark Ether, and then the second I finished both of those, I pretty much just played Warzone and used DM Ultra within Warzone. And I'm pretty sure that if this happens again with the World War II integration, say we see a new mastery camo, I most likely will grind World War II Vanguard, get that mastery camo, and then just start using it with the World War II Vanguard weapons in Warzone. And if the experience in World War II Vanguard's multiplayer is similar to Cold War's or even Call of Duty World War II's multiplayer, I most likely will find more enjoyment in Warzone than anything else, meaning that multiplayer experience gets my money from me buying the actual copy of the game. I do my stuff in the World War II Vanguard, and then I head into Warzone, and then they've hit me twice. They get my money from buying the game, and then any future bundles that I buy in Warzone. And it's a great business idea, but it negatively affects the players that don't like Warzone and just play the multiplayer or the co-op mode that's introduced into the game, or if they just like the campaign. It takes away the foundations of Call of Duty and puts it where something new is happening, which isn't a bad thing because innovation and change is inevitable, and we will see it not only through Call of Duty, but tons of things throughout our lifetime. But for an integrity standpoint, it takes away Call of Duty's integrity a little bit. Call of Duty was built on the foundations of multiplayer, campaign, and your co-op game mode, whether that's zombies or Spec Ops. And now that Warzone's in the mix, and Warzone has the most influence over what happens at Call of Duty Studios now, whether that's Treyarch, Raven, Infinity Ward, or even some of the new companies that they've brought under their wing, Warzone just has the biggest influence, which isn't a bad thing for players like me who enjoy the Warzone experience and have for, I would say, 80% of the time, minus the dark era of Warzone where hackers and gun balance was just thrown out the window, it seems. But for the most part, I've enjoyed Warzone, and I don't mind them bringing out new Call of Duty games and tailoring those new Call of Duty games to Warzone. But I sympathize with the people that are Warzone oriented and the players that still play multiplayer every day regardless of how popular the game is. There's tons of people who love Cold War. When Infinite Warfare was the current Call of Duty and it was getting a lot of hate, there was people that loved Infinite Warfare. And it will happen again with World War II Vanguard. People will love World War II Vanguard for what it is and will prefer the multiplayer experience over Warzone. And there's people that just straight up don't like battle royales or the Warzone experience, so they stay with the OG Call of Duty style. But what sucks for them is even in their own games, Warzone still affects how the multiplayer plays. Look at the multiplayer meta within Modern Warfare 2019. When the AS Val was released near Season 5 and Season 6, the AS Val dominated Warzone, and people started to pick up the AS Val and use it within multiplayer because they saw how good it was in Warzone and were like, hey, I'm going to use this here. Same with the Psychovs that were introduced late Season 2. The Psychovs were really good in Warzone and extremely good in multiplayer. And yes, people are going to use those meta weapons regardless of the Warzone influence, but those players that play mainly Warzone and use those meta guns like the Psychovs and the AS Val, when they go for a multiplayer experience, they will still use those hyper meta weapons and super strong weapons, not because they're strong, but because it's what they're used to in Warzone, and that's how Warzone will still affect the multiplayer. Sure, you can deal with meta weapons in Modern Warfare. They're not that overpowered compared to what meta weapons are like in Warzone, but you still have that influence whether you notice it or not. As of development within Call of Duty games right now, Modern Warfare 2019 was perfect for development. All their effort went into making a brand new engine and a great multiplayer experience, a good campaign, and an okay Spec Ops mode. Cold War, on the other hand, saw the first negative effect that Warzone had just because of how popular and how much of a cash cow it was. And Activision, of course, is going to milk that cash cow till the end of time. And yes, Activision, we frown upon them because they don't make the best decisions overall. But remember, they're business, they're succeeding at exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So the one thing we can hope for is finding a balance. And we can't really do anything to find that balance. It's all internal on the business level of Call of Duty and what goes on in the studios. The dream is an absolute balance of development where Warzone sees incredible updates and new Call of Duties launch and receive later in their yearly life cycle. Great, intriguing, fun experiences throughout the whole time. And of course, when I say launch and future, launch is a huge part because we've seen some Call of Duty launches that have not been good and have kind of rebounded halfway throughout the season. The original Call of Duty World War II being a huge example of that, where it launched really poorly and then they did a huge overhaul later, halfway through the life cycle, and fixed the game. But hopefully we don't need that. And Warzone sees the development that it needs to stay balanced and refreshing with fun new game modes and experiences there. And multiplayer will see great updates and lots of fresh content, and we'll see tons of development there. And there's no doubt in my mind that the multiplayer will see lots of development. But based on how Cold War is going, that's what Call of Duty is in trouble about, is the balance not only in the game itself, but in the development and effort that the higher ups are putting into each thing. I hope that they don't get greedy with Warzone, even though it seems like they already are. I hope they somehow smarten up and keep the integrity that Call of Duty has had for so long. Even though we can all argue at some extent that Call of Duty has lost that integrity, at the least they can do, they can keep the integrity they have left rather than just going the easy route and saying, hey, Call of Duty is whatever, Warzone is where it's at. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys agree and disagree with, and where you think Call of Duty will go in the future, and what you think is at risk that I didn't talk about in this video. Share your thoughts and opinions down below, and make sure, remember, to be respectful to those around you. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for more videos in the future. In the description, there are some social media links if you guys want to follow me on other platforms. It is very appreciated, as well as the Discord is down there if you guys want to talk to me and the homies in the Discord. And if there is one, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.